This is my first ever public letter. I feel very weird writing this, knowing that I will be reading this out loud and sharing it for the world to see. Or a couple of hundred people that will see my videos. Where do I even start? I started January with a lot of enthusiasm. Like many people, I have goals, I have energy to work towards them, and so on, and that was what I did during January. It was a really transformative month in terms of I started reading. I've always been fine with reading self-help books though, and this month I started reading Atomic Habits. I read that from cover to cover because it touched the points that I needed to hear. So I listened and started working on myself. I would say it helped me immensely because I've been trying to get out of a slump since October of 2020. I was kind of out of it since June of 2022, thanks to our trip to Turkey. But yeah, since then I was trying to get a little bit better. Finally, Atomic Habits helped me work on whatever needed work, which is how I realized I was doing something wrong. Realized I wasn't taking care of my physical health, and that was obviously taking its toll on my mental health. Throughout February, I tried to fix my bad habits. Mostly, I focused on fixing my sleep, and if you've been watching my videos, you know that I've never been successful at it. Well, I remember not being able to fall asleep normally since I was in kindergarten, but that's another topic for another time. For a little while, I kind of fixed my schedule, but then it toppled over again. Let's get back to our timeline. In March, I had a new goal. Well, at least not until the end of it. During the first 3 weeks of March, I slacked so hard that I even shocked myself. This is not about numbers, but my weight got to the highest point it ever was. So on 21st of March, I made my decision to take my physical health seriously. So I started my fitness journey along with my intermittent fasting. These next 2 months were such a win. I was doing my workouts consistently. For the next 2 months, I had the best month of the year so far because I was actually seeing the effort paying off. I am not going to lie out of my ass and say that I loved working out. I don't. I hate sweating, but I had to do it, and seeing the results was what kept me going, which was actually the culprit of the downfall during the next 3 months. June started, we couldn't go to Turkey this year due to lack of planning on our part, so we were late to buy tickets. And my country still hasn't opened the damn land borders yet, so at least we could go by the land, but no. Anyways, I'm not going to get riled up again. In August, I was put into a position that I was not expecting, which I am also not complaining about. We started a tiny little business with 3 other business ladies. 5 months in, we're still going strong. Then in September, I was a little bit too comfortable at home. I don't know what other devil got into me. I went looking for a normal job, and then I got it. And then my personal life stopped. At least I started going to the gym, but that was one good thing that came out of me having a normal job. As you may be able to tell from the lack of the uploads since October, I didn't do much. I worked during the day and came home and worked some more on our tiny little business, and that led me thinking even more about the future of my career. If you've been a viewer of this channel in the past year, you may have seen my goals videos. I always had the career section. That section was always left untouched most of the time. Well, that was mostly because I didn't quite know what I wanted out of a career, what a career meant at a core. I think we all know it, but understanding took me a lot longer than I was expecting. I have made some permanent decisions about those options as of now. Hopefully during the next year you will see me take huge steps and sometimes very tiny steps towards my new goals. Also, very random life event taught me a random but important thing as well. I now realize I don't need to finish the things I don't care about. Sometimes I would keep going with the shows that I hated and the books and the movies. Just because I've started it, might as well finish it. Me getting a food poisoning helped me learn that I don't have to. It sounds so funny when I say it like that, but coming from a culture where you have to finish your plate because some people are dying of hunger, I had developed such a way of thinking. Now that I had my first ever food poisoning and couldn't possibly literally finish my plate, I decided that I need to implement this letting go to everything else. And that was an unexpected turn. And also, I have been thinking about my ex and remaining friends lately. Some I know why they are absent in my life, and for some, I cannot seem to pinpoint the exact tipping point of the end of our friendship, let's put it that way. Yeah, I've been thinking about it, but nothing changes in the end. The only thing is that I realize that I am too quick to forgive and forget, and I'm baffled that it happened again. Anyways, I've just been thinking about it, but yeah, again, nothing changes. Too bad that we couldn't figure out our differences and stayed friends with those friends, but it is what it is. Enough of the sappiness, let's move on. This was actually my second time trying to write a script and then read off of it. But for some reason, I start with one idea, and by the time I get to the end of it, I come out of it with totally different idea, and I don't even know what point I want to make. But I feel like to sum up this past year, 2023, I would say it was all about surprises and uncertainty. It is not a good thing, in my opinion, but it is a part of life that we need to learn to be okay with. And honestly, these surprises, the turn of events, and everything else, really, they made me make a resolution for the next year that I would learn to be more okay with uncertainty, because I am a overthinker. I am an anxious person. So maybe in the next year, I have to learn to be okay with uncertainty. I was also talking with my husband the other day, and I realized almost a decade ago, when I was a tiny little teenager, I was going to do something that I would not have the courage to do today. That kind of ignited a courageous aura in me. I don't know how to word that. Yeah, I am going to channel that courage teenage girl, learn to be okay with the uncertainty. Also, I wanted to make this video a little bit more cinematic and beautiful, but by the time you are seeing this video, it is after 2023. I had such a hectic December. That is exactly why this video is so late. Yeah, I hope you had fun watching this video. I hope you understood what I even said. It seems to me like you will feel like I just word vomited on you. It all makes sense in my head. I understand if you are confused, because I'm also confused. I hope my next letter will be more coherent. See you in the next one. I guess, yes, that's all. Bye.